This video was sponsored by Skillshare, the generous donations of patrons of the Lazy Eyebrow, and from the support of viewers like you. Thank you!
Old friend, you kept this planet safe. Because of you, we have a future at B-127.
My name
is
Bumblebee.
Very well, Bumblebee. Wait, Bumblebee? Like, the honey-making insect on this planet?
I see.
I've been asking you for 2 million cycles to pick a name instead of the chassis model you've been making us call you. And you pick of all things an earth insect? Guys, get a load of this!
Prime, can't wait. Sort of in the middle of atmospheric entry here.
I don't think I need to tell you how focused we need to be on this stage.
This can't wait.
Guess what old B-127 finally called himself? Bumblebee.
Like, the earth insect?
Yeah! Oh! Someone just burn up?
Just huffer. Move it down in a bit. Why, hello YouTube! Greetings from the Lazy Eyebrow to review 112. Today we're reviewing an older figure from all of last year, but one from a line people have been asking that I cover. It's Studio Series 38 Optimus Prime. Studio Series 38 Optimus is based on his appearance in the Bumblebee movie, and as such turns into a red and blue cab-over truck, which, holy moly, if that's not what we've been asking for from the movies all this time. I mean, we did get this truck, and I do mean this exact truck, we'll get into that later, back in Transformers 4, but that felt more like, alright, fine, here, he's a cab-over, stop whining, because boy, do I have something special cooked up for you. A Western Star truck that cleans up the transformation. So much so...
Hi, Lazy Eyebrow here. What you're now listening to is a grown man whine about a nearly 3-hour-long movie. If you want to hear the full rant, though, you can click the notification bell right up there. Otherwise, let's move on, shall we? Thanks.
So to finally see Optimus Prime, as we've all been waiting for, a nice red and blue cab-over truck, is amazing. And what a truck! Look at this thing! Seeing Optimus in this vehicle mode is something that, no, it isn't new, but to see this level of detail in a Voyager-sized figure? Just, wow. So Studio Series 38 is based on a Marmon HDT AC-86, and it's just so amazingly accurate. It caught me way off guard. The way the nose is flat up until here, and then it slants inwards. The headlights are spot on. There's a spot right on the nose for a Marmon badge. We've got excellent visors, the 4-stage grille, the gaps in the bumper for airflow. Like, good grief!
You are a cool toy!
Just every little detail they poured into this is insane. And we're only at the front. Moving to the side, we get to see the molded-in step ladder, though for transformation's sake, that's black instead of matching the rest of the sleeper cab in red, which is a little annoying, though I can understand why. But other than that, there are so many rivet and hand details, accurate compartment doors, a cab rack. This is hands down my favorite feature. This isn't the first time I've seen this either, as Revenge of the Fallen Leader Prime had one too. But to see it on a Voyager figure, this is ludicrous. This is amazing. Remember the brakes? That's how I feel about this right now. Look at this. Just look at it. I don't know what happened to Transformers lately, but I am loving every second of it. In my 100th review, I spoke about how I really enjoyed the figures from around 2010. The complexity, the detail, the ingenuity was what really made me love the figures that were coming out back then. I recently got Drift and Warpath from that era in my possession, and it really reminded me what I loved about it so much. But this? It's like a right back to that again. Amazing articulation, ingenious transformations that are both intuitive enough that it's not frustrating while also complex enough to not insult the user, and that's not even saying anything about the incredible detail they're pouring into nearly every figure. I'm blown away that this was included. Moving on then to even more detail. We have smokestacks that aren't cut down to avoid poking some kid's eye out, we have gas tanks right where they should be, and we have rims that don't match the front. Odd. I have a friend online who used to drive these kinds of trucks for a living, and this was something he pointed out when we were talking about this figure back and forth. The style of the front rims are these 2 rounded holes on either side. This is apparently common to steel rims, not so much custom aluminum ones. And hey, that's interesting enough. Meanwhile, on the back, ignoring the square cutouts that I have a feeling are more there as a production necessity than a vehicle detail, we see indented where 5-hole pattern should be if it were cut out. Why the back rims are different from the front is beyond me, but it's not like it makes or breaks a figure, it's just a small thing that he noticed, and now I'm noticing too. Something else, though, that really caught my eye was the back of the truck. Look at this frame! It's so clean and compact and not at all bulky like literally every cabo version of Optimus has ever done. Simply out of necessity. Like, let's go over the ones that haven't bulky only just to facilitate the legs. I mean, sure, it's missing a cross member or two to keep the thing together, but now I'm really nitpicking. On the other hand, look at this fifth wheel. Something else that even the masterpieces tend to omit unless you call this a horseshoe. Now, as far as placement of it goes, this really should be placed between the axles for even distribution of weight. However, between the shock absorbers and the way it needs to transform, it looks like that wasn't possible. However, what it does look like they did was include detail by way of a sliding rack system, which some trucks do have to fine-tune the balance of the load. Like, wow. It's amazing that it needed to be here at a necessity, but they included molded detail to make it make sense. That's amazing. Finally, we come to the back, and about the only missing detail I can see is right here. There's no taillights. And I mean, that's not a huge issue. After all the incredible detail I just covered, I can give them a pass on that and add a pop of red paint. Now the only thing that's missing is mud flaps, and then this truck would be dang near perfect. Now, I may have a 3D printer, but I'm not exactly about to sit and spend 4 hours designing and subsequently printing mud flaps that I'm just going to have to parts form anytime I'm on robot mode. Like, come on guys, I'm not that obsessive with my vehicle modes. So that's the vehicle mode for Studio Series 38 Optimus Prime. It is downright incredible. The design, the detail, the paint, the way everything comes together. When I first got this thing transformed for the first time, I just stopped and looked it over for a good 5 minutes, marveling at everything they did to pull off this truck mode. I mean, it's a Voyager. Because of that, I can forgive things like the extra thick cab rack to hide the shins, but that aside,
Dang, what a truck!
it's amazing. Alrighty then, so Optimus comes with just himself. No trailer or anything. And, well, what good is a truck without nothing to haul? Well, if we back Prime up, we can hitch him up to my very own custom trailer, and man, if that doesn't improve things. I mean, originally designed this to go with Siege Prime, but as quite a few people pointed out, the styling sort of clashes. On the one hand, you had the Cybertronian truck with an Earth-style trailer, and while I like it better than nothing, no, it doesn't exactly super fit. And, well, I made this before we discovered the Earthrise was coming. So that being the case, I'm well and clear happy enough to make Siege Prime go trailerless and donate the Earth-style trailer to the very Earth-style truck, and honestly, it works way better anyway. I modeled the scaling off to a 53-foot trailer, so the portions of which work pretty well in the Studio Series version, and well, I'm glad that this Prime gets a trailer to call his own now. And hey, now we can emulate the final shot of the Bumblebee movie, and doing this is what tipped me off about the truck mode in the first place. So in Bumblebee, this was the ending shot we got. Bumblebee driving off with what looks like a Geo and Optimus, and at first I just figured this was the truck that Studio Series 38 was. I didn't look too closely at it. I mean, this was supposed to be Optimus, wasn't it? Well, maybe not. In this shot, Bumblebee is shown right next to a Freightliner FLA-96, which we all felt was safe to assume was Optimus. I mean, he has been an FLA-96 since the beginning of time. Meanwhile, this toy comes out with a really accurate robot mode compared to the source material, and an insane amount of work put in to model this truck off a Marmon AC-86. Which brings up more than a fair share of questions. Like, was this really Optimus? Was he actually a Marmon this whole time as a reference to the truck he was in Age of Extinction? Conversely, was this toy supposed to be a Freightliner but was tied up in licensing issues? Honestly, I don't have the answer to any of those questions. Regardless, here we are, with a Peterbilt in the movie and a dang near perfect Marmon toy in front of us. Baffled as I am, it's not distracting me from the fact that this truck was another labor of love from the design team, and I fully appreciate it. For size comparison, here's a 187 scale Freightliner FL86, 164 scale Lancer Evolution X, 148 scale Freightliner FL86, 148 scale Siege Optimus, 144 scale Mitsubishi Starion, 143 Porsche 944, 139 scale 1977 Camaro, 139 scale 1971 Plymouth GTX, and finally a 135 scale 1963 Volkswagen Beetle. Funny, out of all the vehicles displayed, Masterpiece Her B happens to be the biggest of the bunch. I guess everything really does scale with MPB. And yes, I'm going to finish this one day. I'm just looking for an airbrush kit to do it properly. So yeah, Studio Series 38 is an amazing truck. It's a movie figure, and yet looking at it, it fits right into the various styles as a genuine Optimus Prime. It's a red cab-over truck with a silver stripe on a blue chassis. Doesn't get more Optimus than that.
The Transformers will return after these messages.
Stop Motion Review 112 was sponsored by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning platform where millions come together to offer classes on topics of just about anything, and not just for those that are serious bookworms. A lot of these classes are composed by people like you and I that just want to share something they learned. Classes range from web development, design, photography, video editing, animation, and more. I personally tried Fraser Davidson's class on simple character animation using a plugin for Adobe After Effects called Duik, and a lot of the principles behind the digital movements, specifically in his such refined movement, apply to stop motion as well. Lessons are also broken down into 4 to 6 minute segments and usually less than an hour span so that you can easily pick up where you left off or go back between sections with relative ease. Subscriptions can be annual or monthly based, though if you pick the annual one, it comes out to less than $10 a month. Though, the first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a 2-month free trial of premium membership so that you can explore your creativity.
We now return to the Transformers.
Alrighty then, on to transformation. Start by removing the printed mud flaps only a fanatic would make, as this has nothing to do with transformation. Detach the cab rack from the cab and move it out of the way. Take the front of the truck and pull it out. Unpeg the sides of the truck. Fold down the side panels. Fold down the upper side panels and fold them a second time. Take the top pieces and fold them onto the shoulders. Then pull out the arms. Rotate the forearms. Fold in the silver panels on the windows. And then open up the windows. On the back, move the head down. Open the top panel, rotate around the entire top torso, then rotate it into position. Fold in the tires, then fold up the back. Move the head plate to the top, then clip in the pectoral windows into their new angled slots. Now for the back. Separate the legs, fold in the horseshoe, unfold the cab rack while rotating them in on the other side, rotate the feet around, rotate down the backs of the legs, fold in the gas tanks, rotate these things, spin the feet, rotate them down, bring down the fronts of the legs, lock it all together in the back, and we're done. I gotta say that this was one inclusive transformation. The way things turned, folded, compressed. Like, I rag on about how much I dislike MP44 and how much I dislike how it's essentially a collection of panels. And this guy, okay, he's not far off from that. But at the same time, I sort of expect this to some degree with the movie bots. Like, no, almost none of the torso ends up in truck mode, or at the very least covered over. But at the same time, at least we're not having to flip windows inside out or hiding the entire side of the truck into the legs. And most importantly, we're not having to take parts that already exist and replace them with look-alike faux parts just for a slightly better look in robot mode. No, this figure takes everything in truck mode and makes use of it. Well, almost everything. About the only bit of panel forming, that I'm counting as panel forming, is the junk on the arms. I'm not terribly impressed by that, but that's it. Meanwhile, what I am impressed with, those are the front windows from the cab, but they open and then rest on a new section, giving them the indent window slants as seen in the movie. The entire slab that was the front of the truck was rotated inside out and became the new back, giving it a very clean appearance at the back. Those are the tires from the truck. Are they hidden? No! He turns into a truck! Please, show me more tires! The cab rack was unfolded lengthwise and became the inside of the lower leg. That's an amazing use of tidying up hollow parts with actual truck detail. The toy equivalent of Technobabble molded into the abs, the arms, the back of the legs. It's incredible molded detail. We get the iconic G1 shins, but they actually look functional and suit the aesthetic. Like, oh my goodness. This figure just feels like they took the G1 figure and said, how can we make this movie worthy? Make it look like it belongs in the real world. This design, aesthetic, transformation, everything about this movie figure just hits every spot in my mind and releases all the dopamine. Like, all of it. And quite honestly, I think this is what everybody was sort of expecting in 2007. And I don't mean any disrespect for that design. Like, I love the 379. But this toy? Oh, this is just about the best Voyager movie figure there is. Because, well, this is a realistic looking G1 Prime. It has all the Optimus cues, and whether you're comparing it to the G1, War for Cybertron 2, War for Cybertron 1, IDW Orion Pax, or War for Cybertron 3, there is no denying that this is Optimus Prime. And as such, unsurprisingly, the accessory he comes with is that famous G1 inspired blaster. Unfortunately, War for Cybertron's blaster was stolen by a 1-year-old who is now 4, but that wasn't even overly accurate in the first place, so off he goes. That aside, yes, Optimus Blaster is Optimus Blaster, is Optimus Blaster, is Optimus Blaster, is, you guessed it, Optimus Blaster. It's the iconic design as seen in the G1 figure, but modernized to look like a realistic piece of machinery that was seen in the movie. I think it's awesome. So being that I haven't finished gushing, let's talk about articulation because good grief! So the head, it's on a ball joint, that's fine enough. The chest windows open up G1 style, though that's more a transformation thing, but hey, I'll roll with it. Arms move out with detail moving out of the way to accommodate elbows bending and rotating. Waist swivel. The hips are on a rotational piece instead of there being a crotch plate like good old Siege here, which allows for higher leg kick rotation, and thank goodness, the further the range the better. I really hope that if they ever do a Voyager-sized Chug Optimus again, that they do it this way, because man, I would buy that right up. And then just about my favorite part. Look at this knee bend. It's not even as far as it can go, and then you even have ankle movement on top of that. This just blows my mind. This level of articulation should be illegal, it's just so good at a Voyager price point. The proportions are also amazing. I briefly mentioned it in another review, but I'll cover it here a little more in depth. The kneeling pose works best when your shins and thighs are equal length. Think of a square. Its lengths are equal. So if you're going to support yourself on one shin and one thigh, your lengths better be equal, or you're going to be a little, or in Astrotrain's case very, lopsided. And despite all that truck detail moving in very specific ways, they also took the time to make sure that not only were the thighs and shins equal, they also made the movement look natural and fluid, hit all sorts of crazy articulation points, and again, did all of this on a Voyager price point. What even is this toy? And that doesn't even mention the feature found in the back that I find a mind-bogglingly few number of people talking about lately on most, if not all figures released these past 3 years or so. There's a 3mm port in the back of the waist. It allows you to plug in the Figma or Gundam or Masterpiece Trax flight stands that use the 3mm port systems. So you too can have Studio Series 38 flying like a Diaclone commercial. Or how about this? Studio Series 38 can pull off these two poses from the movie. And these are not easy poses for figures to pull off, both in getting here and the balance to maintain it. I say it a lot about good figures, but honest to goodness, I am floored by how good this figure is. Like a Voyager figure should not be this good. I'm not complaining that it is, just goodness, it's great! For size comparison then, Titan's Bumblebee, Earthrise Cliffjumper, Studio Series Custom Faded Bumblebee, Masterpiece Herbie, Studio Series Dropkick, G1 Optimus, Siege Optimus, Earthrise Optimus, Earthrise Grapple, Siege Starscream, which if you really wanted to use these as your Cybertron scene seekers, I think they work really well. Same with Siege Shockwave for that matter. I mean, it's not perfect, but they are the Cybertronian designs after all. Proportionate Cybertronian designs, might I add. Not these lanky arm monstrosities of machinery that Barricade is. Ugh. And it's not that I don't like Barricade in concept. I liked his original movie toy. Thought that was pretty cool looking. This just... nope, doesn't do it for me. So that was my review for Studio Series 38, Bumblebee Movie Optimus Prime. As far as movie figures go, this ranks as one of my favorites. I want to say I'd love a leader scale or even a Masterpiece version of this, but then again I have no idea what they could improve. Yes, I'm aware Toy World made an MP-style version, but does that one show as much care and love to the vehicle mode as this? Heck no. While yes, they based theirs on the Freightliner, it's just not as well detailed in my opinion as this Voyager-sized Marmon Masterpiece. It's such a great figure with amazing articulation. It looks like how I feel a movie G1 Optimus should look, and that's largely due to Travis Knight and his amazing visual style for the Bumblebee movie. Basically my favorite Transformers movie in the history of Transformers movies. This has been the Lazy Eyebrow.